tell people that's normal to them, bro. So that's
Oh
why I try
boy,
to
here
say
you go,
what
Uncle.
is.
Here you
No,
go.
but I'm just stating what is not, bro. What is normal, bro? Only thing is normal what is normal to you. The only thing what
Oh
is
Lord.
unnormal is things that's not. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you. That's just the plain what it is. Not that's being without being biased or anything. That's being facts, bro.
Well,
What is normal?
we could agree that the things that Epstein was into was some was normal to us and some was not normal at all. And it was,
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
agree. I could
yeah.
agree with that. Now,
Okay,
it's shoot, a
okay.
lot of that stuff was just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? But without being biased, that's what I try to say. Without being biased, that's facts. Is what is normal. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yikes, man. But that's, I mean, we live. Welcome back, Padres. You feel me? Now rocking with the best, man. This is surreal, lad.
Cool in the building.
In
Yes,
the
sir.
building, always winning and never doing Epstein type shit. You feel me? Never.
Facts, 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 facts.
Boy, cause man, that's what we hear and we gonna talk about it every little episode, man. Cause we not finna normalize this. You feel me? And like our cool said, you know, he said, "What is normal, right? We get to choose what's normal." And messing with younger kids, not allowing them to grow, that's not normal. You feel me? And we just gonna state it, and we gonna do what we gotta do, man, every time to show it because, man, these Epstein files, man, they been coming out, and shout out to some nations, some countries, they been arresting those people, and they been condemning their ways, and they say pedophilia is where we cross the line. You feel me? That way we cross the line. That way it's a no go. And they should cross the lines at a lot of different things. But I'm glad they crossing the line somewhere. You feel me? And I'm not saying that we have not crossed the line over here, but it's like they making that line in the sand look like it's not as strong because they in certain media outlets they making it seem like it's as if it's not as bad as it is. Like certain things in those files, like they're not talking about like the certain rituals and stuff they had, you know, and things of that nature, and how they even try to like get wealthy people like Michael Jackson caught up in it, and knowing he ain't never do nothing. You feel me? And you know, trying to get Kanye West caught up, and this why we gonna keep on bringing light to it. You feel me? Because the people who are good and who said no and to the fact like let's shout out to them. They didn't even really was like saying they gonna talk about it or be against it. They just said no, we don't want to be a part of it, and they still try to attack them people, man. You feel me? And that's why we about freedom over here. You feel me? We got the freedom. If don't make people once they get to a certain money level, you trying to make people get involved with the evils you do. Like no, but that was actually didn't get down though. Cool.
I don't think they make them. I don't think they make them.
Well,
I think what I believe. Okay, this is just my theory. You know me.
go ahead.
Not too bright, but you know what I'm
Nah, go
saying.
ahead,
Not
man. You
shot
shining. You
color.
shining. You shining.
No, but my thing is this here. I think they give them like a ultimate molding.
Right,
Like
ultimatum, right.
if
Yeah.
you, yeah, basically like not even automated. They ultimate moment. Like okay, if you want this, are you willing to do this? So basically, it's like giving you a choice to whether you know what I'm saying, whether you it's like how far you want to go and what you willing to do. You see what I'm trying to say?
Right, but
That
see,
that, and that
it's
Go
like
ahead.
so. It's like Sopranos because it's like, although they giving you a choice, they giving you an offer you can't refuse. So it's like if you say yeah, then you get all these riches and stuff, and you got to do these rituals. But if you say no, then they gonna smear you. They gonna do this, and they might off you, and they got multiple ways to do it, and accidents. You know what I mean? Overdoses, all different type of things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that to a degree, but I believe they if they say no to certain things, I don't believe, as long as they don't talk about it, they can't. You see what I'm trying to say? That I don't think nothing to happen to them. I believe what happens to the ones who signed them contracts that, oh, that, what's that, the NBA or whatever,
Hmm.
NBA or
NBA,
whatever,
NBA,
non-disclosure,
yeah.
yeah, the non-disclosures type of things, and they
Hmm.
not supposed to say. They already know what's supposed to going to happen to them if they speak because they signed the contract saying what's the consequences to them if they speak. You see?
Right.
But I
Yeah.
believe yeah, I believe they tell them, say, look, yeah, for this 20 million, this 100 million, you whoop 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 and you whoop 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 whoop, whatever it is you got to do. And if you want that type of money and that lifestyle, and if you turn it down, yeah, I don't believe nothing. You could walk away with it. It might be some kind of consequences, but I don't think it's always death. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
but see,
And that,
that's the thing, of
uh,
cool. We dealing with people on a different money level. See, then what we forget, this the Illuminati everybody talking about. This is exactly who they are. And this what we understanding is that, like, yeah, it might be somebody that's still the puppet master of Epstein, right? But this is the closest we're gonna get. They not dealing with millions, they dealing with billions. They influencing the whole world, man. Like Epstein was involved from football all the way to terrorist organizations, like allegedly. And I'm saying that just
yeah,
because,
all the way to table tennis.
you
Uh huh.
feel
I
me?
got you.
He was in everything, like medical field, everything. So it's like it's no getting away. Like this ain't like no somebody threatening you like a Diddy, like you got plenty money that can send people after. No, this is the system. Like no matter where you turn, where you go, you going, and that's what make it
Yeah.
hard for them girls to like get away or even say anything. Who you gonna say anything to? They run everything.
But
They run the
okay.
judges, the court systems,
Yeah.
like at
Yeah.
the top
Yeah.
level, at levels where when somebody write their name on the list, they sign on it. Nobody asks questions, because if you ask questions, you just get replaced by somebody who won't ask questions.
Yes. Yeah. 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 On certain things. Yeah. You right. But in a lot of those contracts, bro. Like I said, I done seen they contracts, so that's why I'm trying to tell you that, bro.
Yeah,
They state
that's at
in their
that level.
contract, bro.
Yeah, that's at
No,
that
that's
level.
that's 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 even join the Illuminati, bro.
Yeah, but
Once you become
see,
a member, that's when them different things come, and then you gotta do them different things. See,
right,
they ain't gonna reveal or offer you these things
like
until
what's
you
really,
sign
yeah,
that contract, bro.
yeah,
Until
what's
you sign
really,
that
yeah.
contract and become a member, bro.
Then you
And
gonna be
that's when
like,
you're gonna get,
oh,
yeah, yeah. Then you're gonna be like, oh, it's just like the president. He don't know a lot of things until he become the president. Then you be like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do this. And you know what I'm saying? Unless he Trump, and then he doing what he want to do.
right? Hey, no, what? Cause one thing about people like Trump, man, some people just really have it in them where they like they refuse to be controlled. Like, no matter what organization it is. Now, Trump do walk a certain line, right? But the way he look at it, if y'all gonna kill me anyhow, let me do what I want to do.
Hey, you might as well go with a belly full, huh?
Right? You feel me?
Nah, hey, but on that tip, not to get off the subject too
Go ahead.
far, but you see what they saying about Cuba, bro?
Cuba? No, what they say about Cuba? They gonna take?
Man, they trying to cripple Cuba to the point of they ain't be able to do nothing, boy. After they done shut down the oil, they trying to say Mexico ain't gonna give them no oil no more.
Yeah,
And them people almost run out of gas just to run the country right now, bro.
yeah. They in dire needs, man. They got sanctions on Cuba, man. They trying to shut down the whole thing
No,
because they want Cuba.
ever since they took that president, bro, from Venezuela.
Yeah,
So that's where they was getting their oil from, and now the U.S. cut that part off. So it's basically like they isolating them boys.
yeah. They want to tell them let go because it's the woman, right? They want to say let go of the woman. That You
Oh,
know,
I don't know what
I don't
they
know
doing.
who
All
it
I
is.
know is them people down to saying they only allowed to get 5 gallons what you call it, bro?
I know
A
that's
fuel per
crazy,
vehicle.
bro. That's crazy, bro. And it's like we live in a society where it's like those should be common needs met. Like, and this is the thing. It's like nobody. It's been a long time since they played the war games like this. You feel me?
Ah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say a long time. I say a long time since it being up front, like it being seen. But them boys, they ain't start fighting war. They been fighting in the background all since this whole time. They had all type of tactics
well,
going on.
well, do you blame them? Because if you see what's going on, man, it's like everything could be kind of cool, and then out of the blue, yeah, coming, like when they change presidents or something. Because especially with America, man, you got the biggest gun. Like you change presidents, and he changed that mind state, and he flipped the switch. It's like, oh boy, we gotta be ready. We gotta be ready, cause he coming. He coming. You feel me?
Man, they doing a lot. They doing a lot, bro.
Cause,
They doing a lot.
cause they trying to take over Iran too. They trying to take Iran too, bro. They trying to put it under American
Yeah,
control.
yeah. Everybody still fighting for world power.
Yeah.
Each one of these countries fighting for world power, bro. They ain't never stopped, bro. It's just now all of a sudden since Trump and the thing, now we all seeing everything basically coming to the full front, the internet and everything like that. You see what I'm saying? Now a lot of that stuff is being really seen
Yeah, that's
and
cause
talked about
he don't
by
care no more.
independent reporters.
Right, he don't
Yeah, by
care.
independent reporters. Yeah.
You feel me? Nah, but let's hurry up get into this Epstein clip because I don't want to talk too much about him, bro. Because it's horrendous, man. You know, kids are innocent, man. I'm keep on saying, kids are innocent. So first we gonna listen to the song, man, of basically a child that got tricked into getting some pizza and there wasn't no pizza involved. You know. Yeah, cool.
He said trick to getting some pizza.
Yeah, yeah, there ain't no pizza involved, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. I don't know why they do little partner like that. But we gonna just listen to the song, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna let that mother play right now. Listen to this. Let's see what it do, what it do.
They promised pizza, promised lots, but that night I didn't eat a bite. I wasn't eating the pizza, mama. That night the pizza was me, Lolita, Lolita Express. Took me up into the clouds, yummy, yummy. Left the old rich crowds. Mama, I saw the monsters there in expensive suits with gentle smiles. They spoke so soft, they called me lucky. Said I'd stay with them a while. They locked the doors and took my name. Told me when to stand and breathe. They fixed my smile so I wouldn't bite. Made me soft, made me easy inside. Said stay still, this is how it goes. Taught my body what my mouth can't say. Bright rooms, cameras watching eyes. Be grateful, boy, don't cry. Every night inside that place, I felt myself run. They promised pizza, but that night I didn't eat a
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, brother.
Sound like that was one of the victims of that Illuminati stuff.
Man, you see how it go, man. They got all these stupid rituals that's not normal. You feel me? That's not a
But
part
these
of
things they been these pagan rituals they been doing since biblical times, bro.
I know, and we been trying to stop them since that time, the more accomplished people of the world. You feel me? But see, every time you catch a thief, he learns how to get better at concealing what he doing. You know what I mean? Or what she doing. Cause we ain't trying to get no women about it this one either, cause women took place in it too. You feel me? Cause we let them slide too much, or cool. We can't let them slide. No, not this one. You feel me? You know. A cool, so I
Boy.
love it, boy.
You know, cause like, boy, trust me, bro. I ain't no fool, boy. I was born that night, but not last
It's
night.
like, you feel me, and that's what we gotta understand, Podgens, is that, you know, we also want y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and you know what I mean, tell a friend to tell a friend. But in meantime, in between time, we gotta see what evil is, man. Point it out and say that this is not normal. This is what we against. You feel me? It's just natural. It's just natural. But we do got a clip, man. Let's get into our show, man. I'm gonna run this clip. You feel me? It's the psychology of growing up, bro, in certain different eras, and you know, and I think most of this gonna be based off of the Western society too. You feel me? Because growing up in different places, you know, it's different ways of thinking, and that's why it's like sometimes when they talk bad about the Western society, it's like you want to defend it, but when you got the Epstein stuff coming out, it's like, bro, come on, man, like, really, bro, like, ain't no way, bro, ain't no way. And then they doing it all right around you and playing with you and like just deceiving the whole public. And it's like, it's not right, man. That's why we got to get up, stand up for our rights. You know. No pizza, tell lies. Yeah.
You didn't just grow up in it.
Yeah, bro.
Boy, and that crazy part, it'll get there, boy. It'll get the poor little song.
It's a catchy little tone.
Yeah, catch a little song, bro. What the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, why they do us like that? A cool, like, goddamn.
Man, that's music, bro. You gotta. That's the music, bro. You gotta fix music to the point where it gets to you, bro. Especially when you listen to the words of a lot of these songs.
You feel
You
me?
know,
That time
yeah,
you just
bro.
bobbing, not knowing this boy crying, boy. He trying to tell you a secret. He trying to be real ass.
Yeah.
And see, they understand the science of all this too. That's why they let certain things happen, because they know by us being humans, we gonna react to certain things a certain way, just naturally. It takes us a certain level of thinking or awareness, or like they say, wokeness, to really not, you know what I mean, not fall into
Right.
it. It's like, wow, wow. Cause that's why I'm being woke with myself. Don't matter how catchy it is, don't matter how much time that run through my head, I'm gonna make sure I get out of that. That's why I'm gonna start singing other songs. You feel me?
Everything, bro. Trust me. Why you think sometimes I just listen to either instrumentals or even
Without the
instrumentals or
words.
certain beats? Yeah, bro. Cause words are, words sound power.
Hello,
You know what I'm saying?
hello. There you
So
go.
it
There you
it,
go.
it sends you on a different quest.
Come on. You know how it go. You know how it go, man. But that's how it be, though. If you feel me, cool. So let's hop into this video, man. Let's just understand the psychology of things, because that's where they grabbing it from. Is that brain? That's psychology. You feel me?
Psychological environment. Not better, not worse, just one that no longer exists. If you were a child in the 1970s, your brain developed during a rare window in modern history, a time when freedom wasn't symbolic, it was physical. You left the house without a phone, without tracking, without a constant stream of adult supervision, and yet that freedom came with real responsibility. You were expected to figure things out, to come home on time, to handle yourself. What makes this era so unique isn't nostalgia, it's context. Society trusted children in a way that would feel unthinkable today. Risk wasn't eliminated, boredom wasn't managed, discomfort wasn't immediately solved, and your nervous system adapted to that reality. This isn't about romanticizing the past or criticizing the present. It's about recognizing that development is shaped by environment, and the environment you grew up in trained your brain for autonomy, tolerance, and self-reliance in ways that modern childhood simply cannot replicate. That's why, when you look at today's world and feel slightly out of place, it doesn't mean you're outdated. It means you are calibrated for a world that no longer exists, and you're still carrying its wiring forward. There was a sentence every child of the 1970s learned to respect very quickly. I'm bored. Not because it was met with sympathy, Teddy, but because it wasn't. If you said it out loud, you already knew what was coming next. Then go find something to do, or I'll find something for you. And whatever your parents found was never as appealing as figuring it out yourself. So you learned to solve boredom before it solved you. You weren't handed activities. There were no scheduled enrichment programs, no curated distractions, no screens waiting to rescue your attention. Empty time wasn't treated as a problem to fix. It was simply part of the day, and your brain had to respond. Psychologically, this mattered far more than most people realise. Research on unstructured childhood shows that when children are left to organise their own time, they develop stronger executive function, the mental skills responsible for planning, focus, and self-regulation. But more importantly, something deeper formed beneath that. You learned competence. You discovered that when nothing was happening, you could make something happen. You devoured books, built forts, rode your bike until the day disappeared, or sat on the floor taking things apart just to see how they worked. Purpose didn't arrive from the outside. It emerged from your own initiative. Modern childhood often treats boredom like a threat, something dangerous that must be immediately neutralized. But your nervous system learned the opposite lesson. That boredom isn't an emergency, it's a signal, a quiet invitation to engage your own mind, and that lesson stayed with you. As an adult, this is why empty space doesn't terrify you the way it seems to unsettle others. You don't panic when there's nothing to scroll, nothing scheduled, nothing demanding your attention. Your brain remembers something modern life rarely teaches anymore. Meaning doesn't always arrive pre-packaged. Sometimes it has to be created.
Okay. What do you do when you get bored? That's a good one. So he said people growing up in the 1970s know how to handle that.
Yeah, boy, I can remember my parents. I remember people saying that to me, saying that to us for real. They say, boy, go find something for you to do.
You ain't going up in no 70s, though, man.
Oh, me, bro, I grew up in
bet.
the 80s, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. You grew up in the 80s.
So the same was still around, though, bro. The same was still around, bro. Even in the 90s, that same was still around. You grew up with hood parents in the hood, trust me. You ain't got to be the 70s. You grew up in the hood in the 90s, going outside. You better either two things. Can you go outside, go find something to do?
Yeah.
Or find something for you to do. That's what's the same.
So you figured that out too, huh, Cool?
Yeah, boy. Trust me, bro. We used to have straight imaginations growing up playing outside, bro. You used to make up so many games playing outside, bro.
Also fighting the air and everything. You'll be fighting the whole army by yourself.
But that too. You and your friends. You
right.
Know what I'm
You feel me?
sometimes, like you say, sometimes by yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you wasn't inside though.
No. You tearing up that tree though.
Yeah. Tree.
Whatever.
Doing a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
A bunch of things. You get problems. I don't like it, especially being a young dude. Yo, man, you do a whole bunch of foolishness, bro. A whole bunch of foolishness, bro.
And that's the thing they talking about, man. So when you grow up in like that and you become an adult, it's like when it comes to still time, and I admit sometimes I do feel like I always got to be doing something. You feel me? And then I remind myself, like, well, shit, it's just time to meditate if that's the case. You feel me? That's
Yeah,
why I
but
be
it
like,
also it gives you a thing to become a creator, bro. You know what I'm saying? You become a creator instead of, you know what I'm saying, regurgitator. You see?
mm, there you go. And see, when he said they sit back and they, because I remember my cousins and I used to not break up, like break up the toys, but like we used to unscrew it and undo it to see how it worked.
Yeah, I used to do
You feel
that
me?
too. Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that works, and that's how you find out how things work, and you find out what your interests are, and then you become an engineer from things like that. And it's like
Yeah, yeah.
that's why it's like not a lot of people that's like I don't know doing it nowadays. But we got AI.
No, we don't. They more gurgitators, bro. Like you just read a book, you go with thing, you don't question what the books, you know what I'm saying, and you just redo whatever you was taught in school or taught in the class. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But when you come more of a scientist when you out and you trying to figure out how it works. You see what I'm
Right,
trying to say?
right.
You experiment on trying to work, see if this work, and then you try experiment to see if that work, or if we put this two and that two together, how what this outcome will be, and all type of stuff like that. There, you see what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
No, that's reality. That's reality, and that's the blessing of it. And that's why it's like sometimes it's okay to be bored, man. Like I heard that from a rich man. He's like, hey, if you find out what to do with being bored, you'll be rich. You feel me? And that don't mean it's just work, work, work. It's like understanding what bored is, understanding the balance of time. Like sometimes it's good to not have nothing to do because a lot of other times in your life you might be around people 24/7. You feel me? And you're gonna have to draw back on those times when you were by yourself to get relief. You know what I mean? It happens that way sometimes. Mental relief. You feel me? But go ahead, Aku. You got something to say, my man.
No, I ain't nothing to say.
But
If
but
you want me to say something, I can say something.
nah, you good, you good. Now we gonna hop into this clip, man. This one speaks about the psychology of people growing up in the '80s. You feel me? So, this a cool era. You feel me? Very little bit of. Ain't no wrong with that, look cool. You know what I mean?
Oh boy, hey. Soon y'all gonna be talking about, oh, this about the people who grew up in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we ain't gonna go that far today, but yeah, it's out there though. You know it's out there. That's when they start switching over to the Zen this and Zen that and Alpha this, all of that. You feel me? But let's get to the clip though. We let it play, see what it's talking about.
There's a strange feeling many people who grew up in the 1980s recognise immediately. It's the sense that the world didn't just change, it shifted into something fundamentally different. Faster, louder, more demanding, and somehow less grounded. This isn't nostalgia talking, and it isn't resistance to progress. What you're experiencing is something far more physical than that. Your nervous system was shaped in a world with pauses, a world where attention had limits, where stimulation arrived in doses instead of floods, and where silence wasn't something to escape, it was simply part of life. Your brain learned how to regulate itself without constant input. It learned patience before urgency became the default. Today's world runs on a completely different operating system. Continuous alerts, endless visibility. A steady hum of urgency that never fully shuts off. For many people, this feels normal because their nervous system's developed inside it. For you, it doesn't. It never did. So when you feel overstimulated, drained, or quietly out of sync, it's not because you failed to adapt. It's because you're running modern life on hardware built for depth, not noise. That sense of being on a different planet isn't metaphorical. It's biological. And once you understand that, the discomfort starts to make sense. Not as weakness, but as mismatch. If you grew up in the 1980s, hope wasn't something you had to manufacture. It was the background noise of the world. This wasn't because life was easy or perfect. It was because the dominant message you absorbed, quietly, repeatedly, was that effort led somewhere. The future felt open. Progress felt possible. The story playing in the culture around you said, try, and something might work. That matters more than we realise. During childhood, the brain doesn't just learn facts, it learns expectations. It learns what to assume about tomorrow. And for many people growing up in the 1980s, the nervous system was calibrated around a simple baseline. The world may be hard, but it's not pointless. That baseline shapes everything. It's where you tend to move through challenges with endurance instead of panic. Why setbacks feel frustrating, but not identity shattering? Your system learned persistence before it learned despair. Now contrast that with the modern emotional climate. Constant crisis language, economic uncertainty framed as permanent, a steady stream of warnings about what's broken, collapsing, or too late to fix. For nervous systems that grew up inside that atmosphere, vigilance feels normal. For you, it feels exhausting. Not because you're naive, but because your internal wiring expects forward motion, not endless alarm. When hope is your baseline, living in a world of continuous threat drains you in a specific way. You keep going longer than most, but you also feel the loss more deeply. That doesn't make you outdated. It means you were shaped by a time when believing in the future was part of growing up, and your nervous system never forgot what that felt like. For many people who grew up in the 1980s, freedom arrived early, not as a philosophy, but as a daily reality. You came home to an empty house. You figured out your own snacks. You managed your time, your boredom, your mistakes without an adult hovering nearby. No constant check-ins, no step-by-step guidance, just space, and the expectation that you'd handle it. That kind of childhood builds real strength. Children who experience regular, unsupervised time often develop strong internal motivation. They learn decision-making from consequences, not instructions. They discover that they can solve problems on their own. Over time, that becomes self-trust, a quiet confidence that says, I'll figure it out. But there's another side to that story that rarely gets named. When independence is learned too early, it can come with an unspoken lesson. Needing less makes life easier. You adapt by relying on yourself, not because you're emotionally distant, but because it works. You learn to contain frustration, to wait things out, to move forward without asking for help. That pattern doesn't disappear when you grow up. As adults, many people from this generation are deeply capable and quietly lonely, not because they lack connection, but because they're not practiced at depending on it. Asking for support can feel unnatural, even uncomfortable. You don't reach out easily, and when you do, it's often already heavy. So the same freedom that built your resilience also shaped your distance, not as a flaw, but as an adaptation that once kept things running smoothly, and now deserves to be understood.
Okay. Oh boy, cool. That's your era, man. That's what they say, boss. They said y'all was independent, had to do with your time. You feel me? Well, you know what you think.
Yeah, when you say yeah, that's y'all there. What you trying to say?
Man, hey, he hit some points, man. He hit some points, so cool. Hold on, you cutting up. It's acting up. The bike acting up. Oh, man.
Boy, it sound like you trying to say something. Boy, that's what it sounded
Nah,
like.
hey, I'm just repeating what the man said, cool. What you think about what he said, though? That's the era you grew up in, man. He hit some points or not?
No, no, that's what it. Yeah, that's what it is. That's why I tell you, say they. I was saying that before he even said that, bro. In the statements I was making earlier,
Yeah.
you end up being a problem solver and creating things because you see, you basically it, it, independent, bro.
Yeah,
You
it
see what I'm
makes you
saying?
feel like you gotta rely on yourself, like self-reliance.
Right, right. You see what I'm saying?
Man, that mic messing up bad, man. It's like going to plop plop, like if you on a walkie-talkie or something. Maybe it's too loud or something. I don't know. It's better now. Sound better. Okay. But yeah, though, that's what they were saying, though, bro. And then they also stated that, like, it's fine. Y'all find it hard to ask anybody for help if you got a problem too. And it's like when you
Yeah,
reach out, it's like
cause
heavy
you so
burden.
relied on self. Yeah, and it's because you so relied on self. You see what I'm
Mm,
saying?
mm. That's interesting, man. That's interesting. That's why I say, yeah, that's y'all error, man. That's y'all error. That was a good little, and that's only the beginning of them clips, man. Them little clips go deeper than that. You feel me? But I ain't gonna let them go too deep. You feel me? Real quick. We just gonna hit the surface today, but that's true though. And it's like you wonder why you feel certain ways sometimes, and it's because it's how you grow up, man. The psychological environment you grow up in, and like I kind of grew up like that a little bit too. Like you know what I mean? Like going to school, coming home, having to clean the house, having to do things, keep things running. You feel me? Keep things going.
Man,
Cook for
man,
myself.
everybody who, yeah, most people who grew up in the hood, that was their thing. That's what you had to do. Raise your siblings, take care of your siblings, all that, bro.
Yeah.
That's just a hood thing, bro. It's like that's the norm. That's still going on to this day.
Yeah, but it happens in the suburbs too. Some rich people do it too. You know what I mean? They just got more tools to solve them problems with. That's probably what it is. But maybe it gets worse like that because now you got more time you got to solve. You know what I mean?
No, see, the difference in the time era was us growing up in Hub. It's only few people who had gaming consoles. You see what I'm saying?
That too. Yeah.
Nah, only people in the suburbs, more of them had gaming consoles or computers.
But even back then in the
Yes.
80s, it wasn't even that much computers or even gaming consoles at all. You feel me?
Yeah, it was gaming consoles, bro. But like I say, but those mostly inside the what you call it, the suburbs.
That happened more
Those
like
were
in
people
the,
who,
the early 90s, though, like almost at the end of the 80s, when like Dreamcast and Nintendo and everything started coming out. You feel me?
Atari. You tell me you forget about Atari, bro.
But ain't nobody playing Atari, man. Atari was like beep beep like
Man, you had Pac Man on Atari.
yeah, ain't nobody playing Batman, bro.
Bro, I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just trying to tell you.
Yeah,
But
you
those
had
were the
some.
people in
Yeah,
the suburbs.
yeah, you had some. So yeah, you. It wasn't like
You,
advanced gaming, but you had something to
no,
game
like
with.
not like
Yeah,
today's gaming and
yeah.
all that. There ain't had that many to choose from, but you had games to choose from,
Right, you
and the
had
people
some.
in the suburbs had them, but the people in the hood didn't have those. All we had was a stick and a ball, or basketball, and you're making your rim to play basketball. You see what I'm
Hello.
saying?
That's why we had good basketball players. That's probably why, and good football players too, cause we had to be outside more. You feel me? That's reality when you think about it. Okay, I see where you come from, Makut. That makes sense. That makes sense. But yeah, though, man, they got. Well, we got one more, man. We got one more. It's a shoe. This one from the. This one is this the '90s. You know, this kind of the era I grew up in. You know what I mean? A little bit of the '90s. You feel me? Let's see what they say about the '90s kids, man. Let's see what they talking about. '90s. See what happened in the
Able to explain it? Talking to someone who grew up in the 1990s feels different. Not dramatic, not distant, just calibrated. They listen without rushing to respond. They do not rush to fill every silence. They are present without performing presence. There is a steadiness in how they hold a conversation, like they're fully there, but not trying to prove it. At first, it is easy to mistake this for personality. Maybe they are introverted, maybe they are laid back, maybe they are simply not immersed in online culture. But that explanation does not quite land. Because this is not about temperament, it is about timing. People born in the 1990s did not just grow up in a different era. They grew up during a transition the human nervous system had never experienced before. They learned how to relate to the world before constant stimulation became normal, and then had to adapt as everything accelerated around them. So what you're sensing is not detachment, and it is not nostalgia, it is regulation, a nervous system that learned how to be with itself before it learned how to broadcast itself. A way of moving through conversations that does not demand constant feedback in order to feel real. And once you notice that difference, it becomes hard to unsee, because it quietly shapes how they relate to silence, to technology, and to other people, long after childhood ends. People born in the 1990s occupy a psychological position no generation before or after them fully understands. They are not purely analog, and they are not truly digital. They grew up in the narrow space between the two. Their early years were shaped by a world that moved slowly enough to feel solid. Communication required intention. Connection required effort. Time had weight. If you wanted to see someone, you planned. If you wanted information, you searched for it patiently. If you missed something, it was simply gone. Then, almost without warning, the ground shifted. Technology did not arrive gradually. It accelerated. Suddenly speed became the expectation. Availability became the norm. Visibility became currency. And this generation had to adapt while their sense of self was still forming. This is what it means to be a bridge generation. A bridge does not belong fully to either side. It exists to connect what came before with what came after. And psychologically, that role is demanding. People from the 1990s learned how to switch codes constantly. One moment they move comfortably through digital spaces. The next, they long for a kind of depth that technology struggles to replicate. They understand convenience, but they remember cost. They value progress, but they remember what was traded for it. This constant adaptation built flexibility, but it also created tension. They are fluent in two worlds that operate by different rules, and living in between shapes not only how they use technology, but how they relate to time, relationships, and themselves. To understand them, you have to understand that they were never meant to choose a side. They were shaped to carry both. For people who grew up in the 1990s, childhood unfolded without a record button. Moments did not come with a pause function. There was no instant replay, no archive waiting online to be revisited later. If something happened, it lived only once. And then it was gone. Saturday morning cartoons could not be rewound. Family gatherings were not documented from every angle. Embarrassing moments faded instead of being preserved. Joy existed fully in the moment, because there was no expectation that it would be captured, shared, or validated afterward. This shaped something subtle but powerful in the nervous system. Presence was not a practice, it was a requirement. When moments cannot be saved, the mind learns to stay. Attention settles naturally instead of being pulled in multiple directions. Experiences feel complete because there is no part of the brain holding back, thinking about how it will look later or how it will be received by others. This is not nostalgia. It is psychology, a nervous system that develops without constant external observation, learns how to be internally anchored. It does not need to perform awareness in order to feel real. It does not require proof to trust that an experience matters. Later, when technology introduced endless documentation, this generation already carried a different baseline. They could use the tools, but their sense of presence did not depend on them. Silence did not feel empty. Moments did not need witnesses. That early environment trained a quiet kind of attention, one that stays with what is happening, instead of splitting itself between the moment and its potential representation. And that difference still echoes today, in how they listen, how they remember, and how fully they inhabit the space they are in. For people who grew up in the 1990s, boredom was not something to escape instantly. It was something you eventually learned to sit with. There was no endless stream of content waiting in your pocket. No algorithms stepping in the moment stimulation dropped. When boredom appeared, it stayed. And that forced a choice: remain uncomfortable or create something from the empty space. This is where imagination entered. Boredom became the doorway to interactivity. You invented games, you daydreamed, you replayed conversations in your head. You learned how to occupy your own mind without external input. Over time, this trained something deeper than creativity. It trained emotional self-regulation. When there is nothing to distract you, the nervous system learns how to settle itself. It learns that discomfort rises, peaks, and fades without needing immediate relief. That skill is rarely named, but it matters. It becomes the foundation for being alone without panic, for waiting without agitation, and for feeling restless without needing to numb it. Today, boredom is often treated as a problem to solve immediately, but for this generation, boredom was a teacher. It showed them that inner life could be rich enough to hold attention on its own. This is why many people from the 1990s do not fear quiet the way others do. Silence does not signal emptiness. It signals possibility. They learned early on that when the outside world goes still, the inside world does not disappear, it wakes up. And that relationship with boredom shaped how they think, how they cope, and how comfortable they are being with themselves without needing constant stimulation to feel alive. For people who grew up in the 1990s, waiting was built into daily life. Not as a lesson, but as a condition. You waited for movies to arrive at the video store. You waited for your favourite song to come on the radio, hoping the disc jockey would not talk over the intro. You saved allowance money for weeks or months to buy a single compact disc. Desire did not lead directly to fulfillment. Time sat in between. This repeated experience shaped the nervous system in a quiet but lasting way. Psychologically, delayed gratification is not just about patience, it is about trust. Trust that what you want can exist without being immediately satisfied. Trust that anticipation does not destroy desire, but deepens it. When rewards arrive after effort and time, the brain learns that waiting is survivable, and even meaningful. That lesson carries forward into adulthood. People shaped this way often approach goals differently. They are less likely to demand instant results, and more willing to tolerate the middle phase, where progress feels slow and invisible. In relationships, this can show up as emotional patience. They do not rush connection or force intensity. They allow bonds to form gradually, without constant reassurance. This does not mean they care less. It means they are not driven by urgency. In contrast, a culture built around immediacy trains the nervous system to equate delay with loss. When everything is available instantly, waiting can feel like rejection or failure. For those raised earlier, waiting never meant absence. It meant process.
Boom. There you go. There you go. That's what I be saying, man. That's what I be saying. When I be talking about compound interest, that's exactly what I be talking about, man. Compound interest. Taking your time, letting it grow, letting it get right. He ain't lie about that, man. He ain't lie about that, man. That's how it was growing up, man. It was like, you know, everything was kind of, slow and like, on the old time. And then technology just shot off. It like, when technology started, it increased faster and faster and faster. It's like, now I learned the computers, and then it's like all right, I'm kind of decent on the computers, and I'm not gonna say I'm bad. I'm decent on the computer, but now I know enough to know that technology moves extremely fast. So I know it's a lot of things out there that I don't understand about the capabilities of computers, AI, and everything that's going on. You feel me? But I do understand that everything is a work in progress and everything moving its own timing, man. That's why I don't trip about nothing. I just keep on pushing forward because ain't nobody gonna stop you and anything is possible. You feel me? So that is the truth, man. And you gotta be thankful. And I am grateful about like the little steps, the little milestones on the way. It's like seeing the progress, seeing it happen. Like to me, that's the most beneficial thing. Is knowing that you're progressing, knowing you're going through little small steps. Because if you're not even doing that, then it's like, yeah, it's like yikes. You feel me? It's like, man, we definitely not doing nothing, and that's something I'm against. I'm gonna be doing something, even if it takes a while to get there. I'm gonna be doing something. You feel me? That's how it works. But man, this was a good one, man. This was a true one. You feel me, man? That's it for this one, my partners, man. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for sticking with us. You feel me, man? I want y'all to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, man, that we in ya, and we talking about psychology and seeing how it help you, and see how it connect with you, and seeing what you can do from there. You feel me? But cool, you gotta unmute if you want to say something, big bro, before we leave. I don't want to, leave it without you wanting to say anything. You feel me? And if not, then you know what that means, my padres. You know how that go. You feel me? But cool, what you got for the people? Oh, you don't think cool working hard right now, man. He would say only time can tell, and I would say only God can judge him.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool, what you got for the people?
Well, only time will tell, my brother. Only time will tell, bro. I'm in the middle of something too right now. Come on.
He don't think. And only God can judge you, man. Until next time, keep your head up. Don't get fed up. Wise